Hola, hola, bienvenidos a Huellas Latinas. Más que una organización, somos una comunidad apasionada por las actividades al aire libre. Mi nombre es Luisana Méndez y quiero invitarlos a este espacio, darles la bienvenida a este espacio donde compartimos historias que conectan con la naturaleza, que conectan con nuestra comunidad y que además hablan de ese impacto que podemos tener todos cuando trabajamos juntos. Especialmente en el día de hoy vamos a hablar de uno de los trails más emblemáticos de Minnesota, como es el Superior Hiking Trail. Este es el sendero superior, sendero del lago superior, que está en Minnesota, en la parte norte de Minnesota. Y este es un sendero que recorre más de 300 millas a lo largo de la costa del lago superior, uno de los lagos más grandes, lagos de agua dulce más grandes del mundo. Todo comenzó con una visión en los años 80 y hoy día hay una organización que se encarga de toda la protección y restauración y conservación de este importante sendero. Han pasado 40 años y hoy vamos a conversar con la directora ejecutiva del Super Hiking Trail Association, con Lisa, para conocer toda la historia de este trail y también su impacto y lo que se espera para el futuro. La conversación va a ser en inglés y, por supuesto, les invitamos a que nos sigan en las redes sociales, sigan las páginas de cada una de las organizaciones por si quieren tener mayor información. So welcome, Lisa. We are super happy to have you today and share with the Latino community about the Super Hiking Trail Association, about the story of the Super Hiking Trail, and all the beautiful landscape there is in the North Shore, and also remember and celebrate the war for 40 years now. And that is super exciting and super amazing. So we are super happy to have you here. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to speak with you and your audience and share more about the Superior Hiking Trail, our history, who we are today, and what our future looks like.
Yes, thank you. To start, can you tell us what the Superior Hiking Trails is and what made it so special?
Yeah, well, the Superior Hiking Trail is a 300-mile footpath, a natural surface footpath that runs along the ridge line, so of the Sawtooth Mountains, Minnesota mountains, so not very, very, very tall, but mountainous nonetheless. And it runs parallel to the North Shore of Lake Superior. So whenever you're on the trail, oftentimes you are coming across these vistas and overlooks, and you have panoramic views of the lake. Our organization, the Superior Hiking Trail Association, manages and maintains and promotes the trail. The trail also includes 94 primitive backcountry campsites that are free to use. The trail is free for everyone, but the campsites as well are free to use, and it's a welcoming kind of shared camp experience. There's lots of different places to jump on the trail. Because our trail runs parallel to a scenic byway, a roadway, it has really great access. So a lot of people who may have done some hiking on other national scenic trails, there can be in really remote places. This you can kind of jump off and on pretty easily because there's over 60 trailheads, and a lot of them are fairly nearby a major roadway. So that means also that unlike some long distance trails, we have a lot of day users on the trail, lots of families and beginning hikers. And we welcome everyone from, expert backpackers through hikers who travel the world and do these things to folks who might be getting out on the trail for the very first time as part of a larger, vacation in northern Minnesota.
Yes, on a personal level, what the super hiking trails means to you?
Oh, well, I've been the executive director for the Superior Hiking Trail now for 6 years. But really my Superior Trail stories starts before that. I had moved to northern Minnesota in about 20 years ago, and single at the time, and new to the area, didn't know anybody. I did have a dog though, and I was always looking for ways to go out and explore and adventure with her. And so we would find some neighborhood trails that were near an apartment that I was renting. And I started noticing these blue blazes on trees. And so the blue paint marker indicating that you're on the Superior Hiking Trail. And as I got to know my town, I was living in Duluth, got to know the area and talking to more people. They're like, you can actually walk all the way to the Canadian border on this trail. Oh my goodness. And so then a lot of my weekends and time ended up spent up the shore, checking out different sections of the trail and camping, doing overnights on the trail, and just falling in love with the rapid access to the outdoors. It's very immersive. You get to connect with nature. And one of the things I love living in a town of Duluth, we have 42 miles of the trail in the city, is that it connects to every single neighborhood. So it doesn't matter what your income or zip code is, you have really amazing access to a world-class trail outside of your back door. And there's, I don't know, nothing beats access like that.
Wow, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing your personal story. Um, in the 80s, no, 40 years ago, how what was the vision to become an association, a super hiking trail association at that point of the time?
Yeah. Well, if you kind of rewind and think back to the 1960s and 70s in the United States, long trails like the Appalachian Trail, the Long Trail in Vermont were getting a lot of attention. Backpacking was kind of becoming a bigger thing, and internationally too. It was kind of an up and coming outdoor recreation activity. And so the recreation planners in the state of Minnesota, both from the Minnesota DNR and also the U.S. Forest Service, started talking about, what would a long trail look like? And they had some really fun visions of going all the way around Lake Superior and have it be continental and like going, and there's great vision. There's many visionaries in the world who have lots of ideas of going all over the place. And they kind of landed on the idea of at least getting into Canada and the Canadian border. That has not happened. And we have since kind of lost hope of maybe making that connection. But the idea of running along the North Shore, there was a lot of public land. We go through 8 state parks, some of the most busy, most popular state parks in the state, actually, as well as going through the Superior National Forest. And so there's a lot of public land to develop a trail. So there were some earlier plans by the Forest Service to build this out. And then they quickly realized, we need more people to get involved. And then they created the association in 1986. It was starting a little bit earlier than that, but formalized in 1986, saying we really need a broad cross-section of supporters, users, people from the business community, people from the local governments to get involved, and thus created the Superior Hiking Trail Association.
Wow. Yeah, wow, this is huge. And we know like volunteers plays a big role. Can you tell a little bit about what is their impact?
Yeah. Well, every mile, every inch of the trail has been touched by a volunteer, which is kind of neat to think about when you're out there. Our volunteers are really the heart and soul of our organization. This past year in 2025, we had 600 volunteers donate over 10,000 hours to the trail. And that's just one year. So when you look back at, 40 years of the trail, there's just such an immense investment by our volunteers to make the trail a reality, to build it, and then to maintain it. So they're really the heart and soul of our organization, and we are just so lucky to continue to bring new people in who are excited about the trail, love the trail, and want to give back in a meaningful way.
Yeah. Over these 40 years, many things happen. So, what you will say is the important milestone?
There's so many important milestones, I think, for the organization. You know, this I think a big one was obviously finishing the trail. So that was not until 2017 that we officially finished the trail. That was a huge milestone. In 2019, we officially became part of an affiliate of the North Country National Scenic Trail, which is so that means that we're part of the national trail system through the National Park Service, which is a really big deal. You know, there's even just small moments like the first time we got our first paid staff person in 1991. You know, there's so many cool milestones along the way, and we're not done yet. You know, there's going to be more coming. So yeah, there's so many things to celebrate. Mostly it's the people behind the trail that I think that we can celebrate, and our shared commitment and love of the trail culture and getting outdoors. Everyone's just so committed, I think, and have felt the personal benefits of time spent outdoors, and they want to make sure that continues to be available for them, for their family, and for their community. And yeah, it's such a good cause for people to rally around, especially you know, today when things are kind of sometimes a little dark and scary, and the trail continues to be a source of joy and light for people.
Yeah, for sure. That would be the case. And I really like the culture of the trail, because we can see how in the North Shore, when people is doing the backpacking, all people is super friendly, helping, offer any water or something for drink or something for food, or one place for a stay. So that is amazing. Everybody know that is a backpacker and probably needs something. And it's more about that, people helping to maintain the trail. Yeah.
Yeah, the trail culture is very interesting because, and this is something that's actually been studied, you know, across the country or across the world, is that in spaces like trails, you know, names and identities kind of melt away, and it's not where do you work or where are you from? It's like you're a fellow hiker, and that creates an instant bond for people. And most times that's enough to ignite conversation and connection. So there's a real sense of camaraderie and community along the trail.
Yes. So this year, the celebration, can you share with us all the good news about and the activities we will be hosting for the celebrate the 40 anniversary?
Yeah, well, one of the things that a lot of folks have asked for us to do, and I think it's really important, is to reflect back on how we've arrived at this moment. Like, how do you take an idea of, you know, a long trail, and actually accomplish it? So we've gone back in our archives, looking at old meeting notes and our old newsletters, and we're doing like kind of a chronological story timeline. Every month we publish a little bit more of the story, letting people know how we started. And I think right now we're in like the early 90s is our next installation, and slowly crawling through our archives, which is really fun. We're also doing a lot of storytelling. We have a limited series podcast of our own with WTIP, which is a local public radio station out of Grand Marais. So they are producing that series for us, and it's really fun. We're connecting with people on the trail, volunteers, some of the early founders of the trail association, and obviously users, and hearing some of those unique stories of on the trail, whether it's we've had people who've honeymooned on the trail and other things, just big adventure. Great
groceries along the trail.
Yes. So everyone has a Superior hiking trail story, and it's super fun. It's the best part of my job, is getting to hear people's stories. And then we also are having a really fun all community, all hike event on June 6th. It's a Saturday, and folks can sign up and learn more on our website. But essentially, our goal is to have every section of the Superior hiking trail being hiked on the same day by at least a handful of people. So the trail will be flooded with users and merriment and joy and celebration. And we'll have some fun after parties at some of the local businesses and establishments along the trail that people can stop in, get a free beverage, and meet other people who love the Superior hiking trail as much as you do.
Nice, nice. So everybody can hike in one day and eat cake for the 40 years. That is amazing. I'm very
Yes.
excited for that event. We will be doing everything we can to participate, because yes, that is super fun activity. We would love to participate. So, what is the plan, or what is the vision now for the future of the trail?
Yeah. Well, I always like to say that we're kind of entering middle age. So just like anybody, we're 40 years old. So we're kind of like, maybe slowing down a little bit, not in the sense of what we do, but being maybe more mindful and thinking and spending more time preparing for the future, saving for the future as well. So, part of that is thinking about how do we find the money to take care of this trail into perpetuity. Things are getting more expensive, as you can imagine. So we have a lot of bridges and boardwalk, lumber's, very expensive. How do we continue to provide that experience? Another big thing that is on our radar and a big focus of our organization, and has been from a number of years now, is what we refer to as trail protection. So the trail is made up of many, many different landowners. So the owners can be public landowners like the state, or the national forest, but it's also private landowners who enter into agreements with us to allow us to go through their property to provide this trail experience. And what we know that's happening in Minnesota and all around the country is that land is getting more expensive. It's turning over hands, and there's a lot of new development happening. And so that makes us kind of vulnerable as an organization. And so one of our goals now and into the future is figuring out how we can permanently protect the trail to make sure that the experience that you have on the trail and others will be the same today and in 40 years from now. We don't want to necessarily be walking through a parking lot of a condominium. We want to be walking and immersing through wilderness. So that is our next big challenge. And it's going to take a long time, I would imagine, to make sure that we can permanently protect the trail into perpetuity.
Yes, absolutely. What do you think makes a trail go from being physical space to become a community?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. I'm not saying that because I don't know what to answer. That's just a really great question. Well, what I often say is that the trail, even though it looks, you feel like you're just walking through the woods, it's actually a very hyper curated experience. We have thought, or someone has thought through where that trailhead should be located, how to traverse or climb up a hill or a mountain, right? And that experience that you're going to have along the way. And so I think that there, in some ways, we're curating an experience, even though I'm not there. I'm not, I'm not like a tour guide providing that, but there's a lot of thought into the design of the trail to provide people with maybe an opportunity to open their minds to the natural world, because we are part of the natural world, right? We are nature. And so there's a lot of thought into how we can make us reconnect. And so I think that that's part of it. I think also that as you hike, there's something that, again, kind of the shedding of some of those societal responsibilities and identities, some that we might like and some of them we might not like, but either way, when we're on the trail, it's just a very simplistic way to connect as a human to human. And so, we hope, we always work and strive. We're not just, it's not just words. We put a lot of intentionality in trying to create a community that is inclusive and welcoming, and thinking through how we do that and the culture that we create on the trail. We're very lucky in Minnesota to have so much public lands and have that accessible for us to work with too. So we're not starting from scratch. And yeah, I think it's, I always say it's at least one part trail magic, though. You just don't know exactly how it all comes together.
Yes, yes. There is something else you would like to share with our community?
Yeah, I mean, I would just welcome everyone to come and check out the trail. We have a lot of resources online, and we partnered with Huellas Latinas, I guess it was 2 years ago now, on a really
Yeah.
great hiking the Superior Hiking Trail 101 to provide, instruction and support for folks to get on the trail. But know that, there's a lot of resources on our website. And also if there are resources that you would like to see, especially in Spanish, to let us know, and we can work and partner with Huellas Latinas to make those available. And yeah, we're just looking forward. I think we're going to be doing some more partnerships here this upcoming year, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, and just stop in on the trail store. We're open every Thursday and Friday, starting in late May through late October. So that's a great place to stop in, and obviously you can buy something if you like, or just stop in and ask questions and meet others who are part of the trail community.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for sharing all this information. Now in Spanish, para todos los que quieran, tengan curiosidad, quieran aprender sobre este sendero, la página web de Superior Hiking Trail Association tienen toda la información, libros, mapas, tienen una tienda en Two Harbors que pueden visitar, hacer preguntas. Es un lugar muy lindo para visitar. Hay que planificar la visita para que sepan cuánto tiempo van a recorrer, dónde van a parquear. Also, in the YouTube channel de Superior Hiking Trail, there is a webinar in Spanish, donde pueden encontrar toda la información también del trail en español. Y bueno, esto es una conversación para entender sobre este camino, sobre este trail, porque no solo se trata de naturaleza, sino se trata del resultado de un gran trabajo, de una gran visión y por supuesto, de una comunidad comprometida con cuidar de este espacio. I just say, talking about this trail is not just talking about nature space. It's the result of many years of work, the great vision, and also the commitment from the community for care this trail, for care Minnesota, for care the landscape, the nature, and that is so important. Also because the future of this trail or any place in nature depends on us, the commitment of the community. El futuro de todos estos espacios naturales también dependen de nosotros como comunidad. So thank you, Lisa, again for being here, for sharing all this information. A todos, gracias por escucharnos y nos vemos a la próxima. Thank you.
Thank you.